Hello, friends. Welcome to Coding Garden with CJ. Welcome to Coding Improv episode 6. So in this episode and in past episodes, we're going to build an app completely influenced by Twitch chat. So the way that's going to work is you can use your seedlings, which are basically channel points that you get awarded by watching the stream. Right? So the more you watch, the more seedlings you get. And with your seedlings, you can redeem a suggestion. So for 1,337 seedlings, you can redeem a one-word suggestion. And it should just be one word, one random word. It shouldn't be a technology like React or Vue or Mongo or something like that. It should just be a single word like banana or Pokemon or water. A word, just any word. And you can redeem it. So once I unpause this redemption, the first 10 people to suggest something, we're going to use those 10 suggestions and build an app. We have no idea what we're going to build. We're just going to need to, somehow incorporate all of those things. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's do it. Okay, so we're going to make a directory for episode 6. And I have a reward listener. So this will listen for reward redemption so I can easily copy and paste it. So in moments from now, I'm going to unpause this. And when I unpause it, the first 10 people to redeem improv suggestion, we will use those suggestions. Now, it usually happens that people just put a suggestion in the chat. It doesn't work that way. You have to actually click here and then redeem, but that's okay. People are going to do it anyway. Even though I said it, people are going to do it anyways. Are you ready? First 10 people, go. There we go. It's done. It is done. Okay. So, Mikal has suggested AI. All right. I mean, it's kind of a technology, but I'll allow it. Tambut has suggested stamp. Limotes has suggested oats. Mosaid has suggested testing. Dropmania has suggested piano. Spectro Gaming has suggested connection. Potato is Gritzen has suggested potato. Squeedos has suggested League of Legends. Sparky has suggested incapable, and Elon Musk with the suggestion hardware. All right. It is more of a buzz. You're right. It's more of a buzzword than it is a direct technology. Yeah. Okay. So this is great. These are our suggestions. We're going to go from here. Let's open this up in VS Code. Well, that's unfortunate, King Stern. Next time you should have enough. So usually what we do is we take about 5 minutes to just figure out, in general, what are we going to build based on these suggestions? Because I have no idea, but we'll figure that out. I'm going to update the working on command so that anybody else that comes along can have an idea of what we're working on. Nice, Squeedos, you got in. Nice. Hot dogs. I mean, I'm totally down to build like a hot dog, not hot dog detector. But not today with these suggestions anyways. Cool. We're almost there. Can we add birthday to the list? No, but is it your birthday? Cool. So that's there. If anybody does the working on command, they should see that. And then we'll open this back up, and we'll take about 5 minutes just to come up with a general base idea for all of these things. Yeah, we'll mark those as complete. Great. And we have several focus modes. Actually, I'm gonna use these. Yeah, so AC's 31 minutes ago redeemed focus mode. So we're gonna use a focus mode to figure out what we're gonna do. So here we go. Oh, it's your wife and daughter's birthday. Remind me in like 10 minutes and I'll sing happy birthday. Okay, 8 minutes of focus, and we'll set a 5-minute timer. Here we go. Okay. We have AI stamp testing, oats, piano connection, potato, League of Legends, incapable, and hardware. Now, the word potato is like reminding me of a photo with really, really bad quality. So we could do something of like taking photos or of some like take a photo that looks like it was taken with a potato, and like that takes into account hardware because you're technically using the camera. And then we could like use AI. So what I'm thinking is maybe like you go to the web page, it accesses your webcam, takes a picture, and then applies a filter so it looks like it was taken by a potato, and then we pass that image into an AI to do some sort of detection. I don't know. I don't know. And Limo suggested oats, piano. I mean, I'm kind of liking this train of thought because we could have just like a piano diddle. An oat is a type of potato. We could have like a sound, like a da-da, whenever it takes the picture. Connection. Could we somehow connect it to Twitch chat where people in Twitch, a piano diddle, where people in Twitch chat are sharing potato pictures of themselves? The thing is, once you start incorporating people on the internet, it could get bad. But if it looks like it was taken by a potato, then we're less likely to get inappropriate images, right? I don't know. And then League of Legends, what do we do with that? I'll be honest, I've never actually played League of Legends. I realize this is an extremely popular game. I don't know much about it. Is there a potato connection where we could do like a potato matching game. We have pictures of potatoes, and then you have to make a connection between the matching potato pictures, and then maybe we could train an AI to play the game. I don't know, but can anybody tell me about League of Legends? Like, what are some aspects of the League of Legends game? Yeah, I don't check follows like I used to. But I see that you did follow, so thank you for that. Use an MQTT IoT connection. Okay. Testing. Every time this gets suggested, writing tests is cumbersome. And it is. Wait, competitive bad? Stop it. That's mean. League of Potatoes? Tinder for potatoes? But testing, it's hard to implement when we're like trying to do stuff on the fly. I mean, technically, it makes us write better code, but it's not as fun. But we'll figure that out. Incapable. What do we do with incapable? Yeah, I mean, we could do TDD, but again, it just makes it harder to follow for those that are watching that aren't programmers or aren't that technical. I think that's what I did last time is I wrote a single test. So we'll do that. Let's just put that at the bottom. And don't suggest that in the future. I mean, you can. I've taught testing before. I have. TDD is test-driven development, where basically you write code that checks your code, and you write that code that checks your code before you write your actual code. It's pretty useful. It's very useful. We got about a minute left. Make it a picture guessing game, so you test whether you can tell what the picture is. Oh, okay. But how do we incorporate AI into that? I like the idea of like potato and hardware. If we just find some like really weird images, or what if we find some images and it's a guessing game where each image has a label from the AI, but then we show the user like a zoomed in section of the photo, and they have to. So yeah, we label the image using AI, and then the user has to guess what's in the photo based on like a zoomed in section of it. And then the more points you get, the fancier the piano is. What's the connection though? And what do we do with League of Legends? We could find pictures of League of Legends characters, in-game characters. Stamp. What do we do with a stamp? If you guess 5 in a row, you get a stamp of approval. Guess it by piano. Find images of League of Legends heroes. Yeah, Doc has it, but how can we incorporate AI into this? Suddenly every marketing exec is taking notes. The Dragon API for League of Legends? Yeah, that could be good. That could be fun. So we could call their API to get pictures of images, and then we could display a zoomed in section of that image. Okay, I think that's what we're going to do. It doesn't make that much sense, but there's a lot of code involved. Potato quality of a League of Legends hero. Yeah. In the punishment, if you don't guess right, is like Quaker Oats falls from the top of the screen. Something like that. I don't know. We need to get building though, so let's do it. The general idea is get an asset, get an image from the League of Legends API. I'll spell it out because not everyone knows that it's abbreviated. Get it, yeah. So it's a set. Get an image from the League of Legends API. Classify the image with AI. So this should gets a list of labels as to what that AI thinks is in the image. Display a zoomed in section of the image to the user. And user has options to guess from. And one of the options is what the AI thought it was. One option is AI suggestion. So if chosen correctly, we get a nice piano sound. If chosen incorrectly, we get a bad piano sound. If you get 5 right, Quaker Oats fall from the sky. All right, I think we kind of have everything. Stamp connection. We'll do some testing. Hardware is the fact that it's using your hardware to detect. I don't know. This is what we're going to build. Does it make sense? No. But here we go. Let's find the League of Legends. League of Legends API. Let's see if we can find an API that. There's the Riot developer portal. Can someone mention again what the League of Legends API is called so I can search for that? You get an Oats stamp of approval? Yeah, we could do that. This is not my IP address. Oh, stamp of... If you get 5 right, stamp of approval. And then... Oats... Wait, if you get 5 wrong, oats fall from the sky? I guess. Yeah, we'll do that. It's all using your hardware. AI potato concept? Wait, what? Potato classification. Nice. Dragon API. Thank you for that. I am Chets. Okay. This is probably the one. Let's just search for League of Legends Dragon API. I guess it is. Is it the official API? Riot API libraries? Data Dragon, or DDragon for short, is a set of static data files that provides images and info about champions, runes, and items. Well, okay. Your application. Do we have to get an API key? Personal app. Use your development key. The key expires every 24 hours. Yeah, that should be fine. That should be fine. A stamp of incapability. Exactly. I'm still using macOS Mojave. On this computer, I actually upgraded to Big Sur on my work laptop because I needed the latest Xcode. But yeah, okay. Here's an endpoint. This gives you the champions in a JSON file. Enhance. So we've got all the champions. This gives us back an image name. How do we make an image URL? Refactor with the 1 year resub. Thank you so much, Refactor. Who says, "Oh man, did I miss the beginning?" Yeah, you missed it. It was yesterday. You missed it, but I'll give you a taste since you resub for a year, and I appreciate the support. This is me in a hot tub. This is me in a hot tub. Okay. Great. This is the stamp that we'll use. All right. What do you got? Approved. Cool. We'll hold on to that. And thank you, Bayosi, or is that your name? Appreciated. Okay, so this is different API docs, which is okay. So we want data and assets, champions. Oh no, this is fine. Okay, but then the docs should tell us how we can figure out an image. Yeah, you prepend that, but let's find that in the docs. Image. Okay. Champion passive assets. So the API response is giving us back, like, let's say we want to get Vigar. I hope that's how you pronounce their name. And then we want the champion image. So we have this URL, and then we throw Vigar.png onto the end here. Okay, I feel like if we pass this into an AI, it's not going to know what the heck that is. I guess we could try to get the sprite. So that gives us the sprite, but then it gives us the XY location. So technically we would have to pick out the sprite from that. So that's okay. We don't want that. And then the group is champion. Oh, so we use the group and then that to actually get it. Okay. That image is I mean, I guess it's fine if the AI can't figure it out. But let's try Timo. What does Timo look like? Champion. The thing is, we need bigger images. We need really big images because we're going to be zooming into a section of that image, right? The splash art. Let's see what the splash art looks like. Oh, that could be cool. Okay, so splash / like the character name. How do I get that? So champion / splash. Do I have that info in the API? Like, could we get the splash of Timo? Hey. Hey. Yeah, we'll use the splash. Thank you for that. But how many splashes do we get? Yeah, what was Kiko saying? Yeah. We're doing coding improv. So basically, there were suggestions from the chat at the beginning of the show, and we're using all of those suggestions to build an app. It's completely random. Basically, we've decided that we're going to get an image from the League of Legends API, pass it through an AI to see what the AI thinks is in it. Timo for life? Come at me. So I guess this works. We should be able to pass any champion name in, right? So Kog'Maw, let's see. I mean, again, I'm showing my ignorance. Is Kog'Maw a champion? They are. The splash amount is relative to the skins each character have. Oh, I did 23, not 3. So there is a third one. There is a fourth one. Okay, but does the API tell us that? Stats? Number of skins? Ahri? Let's try Ahri. They are a cool champion. Ahri. Nice. They have cat ears? That's pretty dope. Okay. Tags. Info. Blurb. Yeah, and then you have to guess whatever random nonsense the AI thought the image was. Exactly. Yeah, but how do we know how many does every character have the same number of skins? I don't know. Let's write some code. So I'm going to write code that makes a request for this file. So by making a request for this file, we're going to get access to all of the champion names, and then we can use that to pick a random champion. I'll keep that open. A random champion's splash screen. Yeah, and I think we'll just stick to like the first 2 or 3 skins. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Let's write some code. I'm just going to do this with vanilla JavaScript. I mentioned earlier that we might use React. We're going to write code that is directly supported by the web browser. So we have a basic HTML document. we're going to call this LOL AI Guesser. That's the name of this app. We're going to add a script tag. We're going to create a file called app.js. That's where our codes are going to go. And let's see if we can request this URL directly. So I'm going to create a variable. Throw that in. So, I see. Thank you for that. So you make a secondary request for the champion itself, and then it tells you what skins are there. Okay, that makes sense. So the secondary, so basically we would get the name Aatrox or Aatrox, and then then we could make a secondary request, and then inside of here we see the number of skins, and we can see that Aatrox or Aatrox has 7 skins. Interesting. Yeah, so people are asking, like, what's better practice here in terms of adding the script tag? I like putting it here with no deferred attribute because it is predictable. I know that, and usually, like, I'll probably have some elements here, and I know that when this script loads, these elements above it will be available, right? I know that for sure. If I were to put this in ahead with the defer attribute, basically what it does is it loads this asynchronously. And so I would need code that says, make sure that the DOM has loaded. And once the DOM has loaded, then I can start writing my code. So which is why I just prefer to do it this way. I mean, technically, the browser makes the request right here. So it actually might halt execution of rendering, I guess. But by putting my script tag there, I know that the elements are already on the page. That's why I put it there. Because otherwise, I would have to add like a DOM ready event listener, that kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, and I really appreciate the help, Bajosi. Very much appreciated. We can do the birthday song. Yeah, well, okay. Let's at least make an API request, and then we'll do the birthday song. So I need a function that says get champions. I was going to say get heroes, get champions. And this will be an async function that makes a fetch request for this URL. Now, we could run into a CORS error. I have no idea if their API supports CORS or not. If it does, we'll have to fix that. Okay, so we're going to get the JSON data by parsing that response as JSON. And then we'll log out the JSON. So when the page loads, get the champions. All right, I'm going to use Light Server. So Light Server is a auto-refreshing static file server that will automatically refresh when my code changes. And Soundplex, hello, welcome to the show. Let's see if it worked. Are we going to get the CORS error? We didn't get a CORS error. That's beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, you're right, Doc. I could just put the JSON in the file itself, but it supports CORS, meaning my web page is allowed to make requests to their API with no extra steps. And if you want to get technical about it, we can actually look at the network response. And so we can see that when we make a request to this JSON file, their server responds with this access control allow origin star header. And that means that they allow any origin. I'm on this origin, and they're like, hey, you can have the data. We don't care. So that's great. Okay, so now let's just get a random champion from here. So our response.data is an object where all of the keys are the champion names, right? Yeah, so we'll just return object.keys of json.data. So this should give us back an array with champion names. And then I'll create a function that says get random champion. That takes in an array of champions and then gets a random one. But for now, I'm just going to log the champions. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to say get champions. And then once you've got the champions, get a random champion like that. So now we should see just an array of champion names. Great. Great. There's 143 of them. Now we actually need a random one. So let's do the business. We need a random index between 0 and 143, or 0 and the length of the array itself. So I'm going to do math.random, which gives us a random value between 0 and 1, non-inclusive of 1. So this is going to give us a random value that's between 0 and And that's going to give us a random value between 0 and the length of the array, right? Because if it's 0.9999999, we'll get like 142.99999 or something like that, if we wanted the last value in the array, or whatever. Okay, now we math.floor this thing, which drops the decimal, and now we have a random index. Great. Now that we have the random index, we're just going to return champions at that random index. It's not length -1 because math.random will never return 1. The maximum possible value math.random will return is 0.9999999. And so because we floor it, we're always going to get the maximum possible value we'll get is length -1. Yeah. What's up, Polyta music? If you do ! working on, you can get info about what we're working on. But basically, we have a bunch of randoms. I'll give you the rundown for anybody that's just joining us. We have a bunch of completely random suggestions from chat. We took those suggestions in. I've decided this is what we're going to build, and now we're trying to build it. Right now, we're on this step. We're getting data from the League of Legends API. The next step is AI. But yeah, okay, so we get a random champion, and then let's say we display champion. So we're going to write a function that puts that champion on the page. And this gives us the champion name. Champion? Let's just call this champion. And for now, we're just going to log it out, make sure that we get that. Display champion. Cool. So now when the page loads, we should get a random champion. Zyra. Camille. Aurelian Soul. Kaiza. Singed. Zerath. Graves. Brand. Fizz. Gangplank. Awesome. So now that we have a random champion, like technically we could make the request, we could make a secondary request here to get the number of skins and then pick a random skin for like maximum randomization. What do you all think? Should we display a random skin, or should we just display the first skin that's available? I'm honestly really curious what the AI is going to think when we pass this in. First skin, random skin. Random, default, random. Yeah, we'll do random. It's more code, but for those of you like learning about this code stuff, it's actually pretty cool to see how we can write this where the code is very sequential, right? First, we get the champions from the API. Then, with that response, we get a random champion. Then, we display champion. But actually, we're going to create a new function that gets the champion stats. So we'll say get champion info. And then and then we get champion info. So after we've gotten a random one, we get the champion info, and then eventually we'll display the champion. So yeah, this one we do want to be async because this one needs to make another API request. So let's call this the champions URL. So this is the URL that gives us all of the champions. And then this URL is the URL to give a single champion URL. So get champion URL. So I'm going to make it a function that takes in the champion name and then returns a string that puts the champion name in the URL like this. So, well, it's all wrapped now. But I call this function, I pass in the champion name, and then that gives me back a URL that I'll actually make the API request against. How do you know when to use async stuff? Specifically, when you're using a function that returns a promise. So when I'm making an API request, I'm using fetch, and fetch returns a promise, which means I need to use the await keyword. Though technically, I don't have to use await. I also could do this wait, that's wrong. I could do this then thing, which is, because get champions returns a promise, you can say then and pass in a callback function. I'm not explaining that very well. Let's get it all working and then I'll try to explain it better. Cool. So now that we have that function, we'll say the champion URL is get champion URL with the champion name. So this is going to give us a URL that has their name in it. And then we basically just replicate this because we need to make a second response to the champion URL. When there is an await, you have to make the function async. Yeah, exactly. So if you want to use the await keyword inside of a function, you have to label it as async. And by labeling it as async, you have now said that this function returns a promise. It returns a promise. You can see that I'm actually not returning a promise here, but basically the return value of this function is like wrapped in a promise because it is marked as async. I'll try to talk about it more in a second. Okay, but I don't think I want json.data, or do we? So what we want is data.skins.length. Yeah, so here we go. So this gets the champion info. We're just going to return json.data at the champion name. We're doing all kinds of JavaScript today. Check this out. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of you are confused. There's a lot of stuff happening. But what's cool here is their API response actually has the champion name as a property on one of the objects, and we need to access that property. So we can use bracket notation here. And because champion actually is the champion name, this is like doing json.data.atrox. Yeah. So that's a thing. Actually, let's just return the skins. So we'll do .skins here. And we'll say get champion skins instead of get champion info. Cool. Cool. So that's going to get the skins, and then we need another function that gets a random skin. So get the champion skins, and then get random skin. So we'll make a function that does that. Get random skin. This takes in the skins, which is an array of all possible skins. And for now, I'm just going to log it out. What if I use top level await? Is it supported? Does Chrome support it? I know that Chrome supports it like in the dev tools, but does it support it in your script file? It should be. Await. Use at module top level. So it has to be a module, and it looks like it's only supported in Chrome. I'm using Firefox. Right? Am I looking at the right one? I have no idea what I'm doing either, but let's get it going. So let's see if this worked. So we should, yeah, look at this. Wait, there are other browsers? Yeah, I use Firefox. So there's a lot of stuff happening here. When the page loads, we make an API request for the list of champions from the League of Legends API. Then once we have the list of champions, we choose a random champion, right? We could do an async iffy. I'm not going to complicate things, though. This is fine. What I'm doing is fine. We get a random name of a champion. Then we make a secondary request to this API endpoint, which gives us more information about that champion. And specifically, we want to know skins. We want to know how many skins this champion has. And now we've got that list of skins. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're actually going to show this champion on the page. Yeah, so for those of you just joining us, we have a list of completely random suggestions from chat. We're trying to incorporate all of those into this app we're building. And right now we're on the first step, which is just somebody suggested League of Legends. So I was like, okay, we'll find the League of Legends API. And that's what we've done. But eventually we're going to do this other stuff. There will be AI. AI will be involved. Okay. Now we need a random skin. We're going to have some very similar random code. We could... here's what I'll do. I'll copy and paste it. The only thing that's different is instead of champions.length, it's going to be skins.length. And that's going to get it for us. And so after we get the random skin, I'll then say display skin. I'll say display champion skin. You're right. I just need a random index because then I'm going to use that index in the URL for the skin. But it's fine. It's fine. But I will show you that we can refactor this, right? So let's zoom out a little bit. I do not work at this zoom level, but I'm coding live on stream for people to watch, and it's very helpful when they can actually see the code. Just go to the science and technology category and this is pretty much what you're going to see, which is really hard to see on, especially if you're watching like on a phone or something like that. But okay, enhance. This code looks just like this code. We're in just chatting because it brings more random people in. People that don't even know that there is a science and technology category. Okay. The only difference between these two things is the fact that I'm using the champions here and I'm using the skins here. So here we go. Your first lesson in refactoring. We're going to create a generalized function that gets a random thing from the array. So I'm going to copy and paste this one, but then we're going to generalize it. And thank you, Elibum. It says my positive energy is one of a kind. Thank you. Okay, so I'll say get random value. And so we're going to generalize it. Instead of taking in champion specifically, we just take in an array like that. Now we can use this function and pass in the thing that we want. So instead of we don't need get random champion anymore. I mean, technically, we get random champion could now become return get random value with champions like this, and then get random skin can become get random value with skins. And technically, this will work, but I don't like how these functions just call that function. But let's see if it works. See if it still works. Yeah, it still works. So we're now getting a random skin. We get Festival Queen Anavia, and then we get Harbinger Kassadin. And then we get Marauder Olaf. Cool. So it's working. Technically, what we could do though is just pass right here. Get random value. Get random value, and then we don't need these two extra functions. The code's getting simpler. Wait, did I mess up? Okay, get random champion. Get champion skins. Wait. No. Okay, get champions. I messed up. Get the champions, get a random one. Then we need the skins. And then we need a random skin, and then we display that skin. I think this is less readable. It probably is. I don't know. Yeah, so this still works. So get all of the champions, get a random champion, and then with that champion, get their skins, and then with those skins, get a random one, and then display that random one. And right now, we're just logging it out. So we got default, we got Ghost Bride, Morgana, and default. Somebody help Yataic out. We have commands that will tell them what we're building. You're right. Yeah, we do need the champion name, but we can do that. I mean, honestly, we could do it combined. So here, this gives us the skins, and then we'll say a random skin is get random value with skins, and then no, this gives us. We do need the champion name. You're right. Yeah, you technically could. I'll show how this can be written with async await. Okay. What do I want here? Get the skins. I mean, technically, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to return an object that has the skins on it, and it has the champion name. So that way we don't lose it. And then now we can do info.skins. And we'll have access to the champion name. So info.champion will be the name. And that should be a random skin. Yeah, so we have Jax, we have Misfortune, Ezrael, Olaf, Akali, all that good stuff. Okay. Lastly, we're going to turn it into this URL, display it on the page, and then I'll sing happy birthday. And then we'll explain this code some more, and I'll show you how you can write this with async await. Okay, so the skin URL is this, but instead of Kog'Maw, we use the champion name. So we'll do info.champion. And then instead of 0, we use the skin number. So I'll say a skin.num. Let's just call this skin instead of random skin. Yeah, it's complaining about the favicon. Yeah. I needed the name for this URL here. I could have stored it as a global variable. Doesn't matter. Now we have this URL. Now let's just add it to the page. So I'll just do document.body.append child. Let's call it the skin image, and then we'll create the skin image. So we need an image that loads that URL. So that should be good. So now when the page loads, it doesn't have a SRC. Is that how this works? I know that we can do document.create element. I think, no, you know what? I think I need, let's just try this. I need to do this, and then I need to set the SRC. Yeah, so that SRC equals that. Cool, this should do it. Nice, nice. Let's add some basic style so it actually shows up on the page. So I'll just say any image on the page has a width of 100%. So it will fill up the page. And here we go. There we go. So we got that one. And if I refresh the page, we get this. I'm going to add some margin just for now, so that it's below the browser sync thing. Well, that's wrong. Margin top. Okay, so we got that one. And we got that one, and we got that one, and we got that one. Yeah, and we wrote our code with 0 global variables. Look at that. Yeah, so browser sync is a tool that automatically refreshes the browser when my code changes. And so because I'm using Light Server, it injects browser sync and then automatically refreshes. First try it. Yeah, look at this. So we're on our way. We're on our way. Now that we have a random image, the next step is to pass it through an AI who's going to classify it. Yeah, I mean, technically, we could do some caching. We could cache the champions. That way we're not requesting them. I don't know. I don't know. You all are thinking too hard. Let's take a quick break and sing happy birthday. Whose birthday is it? Smile in the chat if it's your birthday. Yeah, you're right, Doc. We could just copy and paste the champions in. Joseph, happy birthday. Limotes, happy birthday. Mark, happy birthday. But Josie, happy birthday. Oh no, you're not smiling. Not happy birthday. Imposter. Happy birthday to Maya. Wait, how about whose birthday is in April? Smile if your birthday is in April. Yeah. I'm actually curious. We could look at the network response and see if they're telling us about any rate limits. Yeah, we got some April birthdays. Oh, no worries, Limotes. Rewrite it in PHP. Here's the thing. This is all front-end code. We can put this on a static file server and it'll just work. PHP would require a back-end server that can run PHP. Yeah, I don't see anything in here about rate limits. So, yeah. Rewrite it in binary code. Kappa. Wait, is PHP.js actually a thing? Is that a JavaScript library that interprets PHP? Was Imposter Engineer the first one to ask for a happy birthday? Oh, that's wrong. I'm backwards. He was okay. So it is Maya's birthday. We can sing happy birthday to Maya and Maya's mom too. Do they share a birthday? Alrighty. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Maya. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Maya. Hopefully you have a wonderful birthday and you get all the things you want. All the things. My ears are bleeding. Stop it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mauro. I appreciate the compliment. Let's keep coding. Let's keep coding. So, step 1, get an image from the League of Legends API. That took way too long. And someone help out Gochuni to tell them how to get all the stuff in the chat overlay. This chair doesn't. It's from IKEA. It's the IKEA Marcus. They used to sell it in green. They don't sell it in green anymore. But yeah, okay. So we got the image from the League of Legends API. Step 1, done. There's a lot of things we could do to this code, but I don't think we have the time to do it. We need to keep moving along. Yeah, because I mean, we talked about we could cache the data. I think we're going to be fine if we don't cache the data. Yeah. Yeah, that was my plan, Doc. ML5 with the MobileNet classifier. Yeah. Though, actually, I think the other thing we could do is call an API with one of the results to get back similar words. So that way it makes it what's the word? A bit easier, because you have to guess what the AI thought, and you have 4 suggestions. One of them is really what the AI said. The other 4 are words that are similar to what the AI said. Wait, there's a League of Legends data set? Yeah, okay. Before we do that, let's talk some code. So you can see that in these asynchronous functions, I'm using the async and await keyword. And we use the await keyword when the function we're calling returns a promise, right? So this returns a promise, which is why I can use the await keyword. Response.json returns a promise, which is why I can use the await keyword. Technically, you can await things that don't return a promise too, but in the simplest case, think about it as when you see the await keyword, the thing on the right-hand side returns a promise. So the other thing to note is that any function that is marked as async returns a promise. So get champions returns a promise, and get champion skins returns a promise. Display champion skin does not return a promise, and get random value does not return a promise because they don't have the async keyword. Okay, so there's your base of knowledge. Now, here's the other thing. When a function returns a promise, you can use .then on it. So if we look at get champions is marked as async. That means it returns a promise, which means I can do .then on it. Cool. This technically is kind of like the old way of doing things, because now we have the async await keywords. And like I mentioned, if something returns a promise, we can await it. So because get champions returns a promise, we can await it. But what we need to do is put it inside of an async function to be able to use that await keyword. So I'll have an async function called init, like initialize. Let's call it let's not abbreviate, initialize. And basically, now that this is an async function, I can use the await keyword instead of using .then. So I can say champions equals await get champions. And then I want to get a random value. And so I can say random champion equals get random value with the champions. And then I need to get the champion skins, so I can say skins equals await get champion skins with the random champion, like this. And then now that I have the skins, I can say display champion skin with those skins, like that. So I wrote the code like this, which, because this returns a promise, I can .then it. And then because you've already started .thenning, you can .then all day. And so this says, after get champions is done, call get random value with the result of what that promise resolves to, and then call this function with what this resolves to, and then call this function with what this resolves to. Now, with using async await, it looks a little bit more, potentially a little more clear as to what's happening. So we get the champions by awaiting it, because if you remember, get champions returns a promise, it's async. And then we can get random value. But again, get random value does not return a promise, so we don't await it. Get champion skins takes in a champion, and it is async, so it does return a promise, so we do await it. And then we say display champion skin. And technically, this is the info. Let's call it info, like this. Yeah. Await is just an operator. You can nest them and make it a one-liner. Nest, like, you do have a team. Nice, you have the disability team. Very cool. Yeah, I don't know, but these two bits of code, this bit of code and this bit of code, are technically doing the same things. They're just two different ways of doing it. A lot of people prefer to do it this way because it looks more sequential, but behind the scenes, it's just doing this. Yeah, and technically I need to call this function. Yeah, and we could, so the thing is, we didn't have error handling before. But the other thing I'll note is when you use async await, you definitely want to add error handling as well. But let's make sure this works. Yeah, it still works. First try. But you probably should wrap this in a try catch statement, because these API requests, like get champions and get champion skins, they could fail. We could get a rate limiting error, or if their API is down, we might get an error. So by wrapping this in a try catch, we can do something with the error. In this case, we just log the error because we don't care about it. If I wanted this code to be equivalent, I would need to add a dot catch on it. Dot catch, do something useful with that error. Yeah. So these two are functionally equivalent. We're going to stick with this code here. Yeah, I mean, and the other difference is now that I've put these in variables, technically I have access to all of the previous values within this scope. And so earlier we did that, it's not a hack, but we made it so that this function also returns the champion name so that we could use it later on in this function. Technically, if I wrote my code this way, I wouldn't have to do that because I would still have access to the champion name, right? I don't know. Yeah, I don't see your team name. And those of you that came for the bikini stream, I'll give you a quick taste. Okay, now let's write some more code. Next up, we need some AI. AI is next. Classify the image with AI. So when the page loads, we're getting a random hero image. Random hero image. Now we want to pass this into an AI to classify it. Yeah. Why would anyone use promises? I mean, like, I like the fact, like, you could argue both ways. When I look at this reads very sequentially, right? This reads as like, do this, and then do this, and then do this, and then do this. That's how that code reads. And then this code just reads like, call the functions, get back the result, call other functions with those results. You know. Okay. We're going to use ML5.js. So ML5 is a machine learning library that can work in the web browsers. First off, take a moment to acknowledge Black Lives Matter, no justice, no peace. But then we can look at the documentation, and they specifically have an image classifier. So it's a neural network image classifier where you can pass in an image, and then it will classify it. It'll give you back what it thinks is inside of that image. Yeah, and I will mention we have done this on stream before. So one of like episode 3 or 4 was GIF kebab. Is it still there? Yeah. So in this episode of Coding Improv, we get a random word. We then call the Jiffy API to get back a GIF. We then classify that GIF, which gives us back classifications, and then we pass one of those classifications back into the Jiffy API. It's broken right now, probably because my Jiffy API key is back, but we've used it. Yeah, so we actually found that API key in someone's GitHub repo, and we opened an issue and told them to change it, but we went ahead and used it for the episode anyways. Oh no, we figured. Yeah, I mean, for those of you that remember, we had an issue with loading cross-origin images. The only thing we had to do, or I had to do, was put this attribute on the image. Cross-origin and anonymous. And the library was... Actually, I'll keep this up because we're going to need this. Yeah, it's GIF with a soft G. Do you pronounce gin as gin? No, you don't. Okay, but we're going to need this little piece of code which allows the underlying library to actually request the image to classify it. Okay, but this is what we're going to do. We need to add ML5 to our app. So setup. We need it from a CDN, quick start. Here we go. So we're going to add this link to our HTML. That's going to give us the ML5 library so we can use its classification. So in my HTML, I'll just add it right above the app.js. And so inside of app.js, I will have access to the ML5 library. And then if we look at the image classifier, we do a little bit of this. I think I'm going to put this all in initialize. So we create a classifier. And then when the model has loaded, we can do our classification. And then we can do a, like this. I mean, technically it could just be a callback function. What if we do it like this? Yeah, so create an image classifier that uses the MobileNet, what's that called? It's pre-classified, pre-trained. It's a pre-trained model. So we load the pre-trained model, and then when it's ready, we will classify it with some results. So right here, we're adding an image to the page. I'm just going to select that image on the page. And then we'll try to classify it. Here's the thing. I'm just going to say we're going to have a variable. Classifier ready is false. And then when it's ready, we'll say classifier ready is true. Okay? And then this display champion skin, I kind of want you to do that code in here because then I can do this. What does this do? This gets, let's just say get skin URL. And we'll return that URL, and then we'll move the code down here. So get skin URL, like this. And now this code doesn't work anymore, but that's fine. And ultimately, we're just going to return the skin URL. Get random skin URL. Okay, so we get a random skin. We then need to load that image. Set the source, add it to the page, and then really when the image is ready, then we try to classify it. So we'll add an event listener for load. Maybe this might work. And then when it's loaded, we will try to classify that image. But I mean, really, we only want to classify it if the classifier is ready. So if classifier is ready, do it. And we can also keep track of if we've classified. And then once we've classified, we don't want to classify again. And so if we have not classified yet, classify the image. Basically, we're dependent on two different things. Is the classifier ready and has our image loaded? Though, didn't we create some sort of like promise thing? I don't know. Yeah, I think that's what we did last time, is we turned this into a promise, so that way we don't try to do anything until it's actually ready. Yeah, I could use and here. Ugh, why does this get so complicated? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this in a promise. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, and then once I have the classifier, I should have the image should already be loaded. Okay, here we go. We're gonna make this even more complicated. we're going to await promise.all. So promise.all lets you await multiple promises. So one promise is that this classifier will load, right? And so the promise here is a new promise that will resolve when the when the classifier is loaded. Like this. So it's a little bit confusing, but basically what this says is create a new image classifier, and then it accepts a callback function here. And so I think we actually need to do like this. So it accepts a callback function, and when ML5 calls that callback function, we're going to resolve this promise with the classifier that we just created. Why is this complaining? It's already declared in upper scope. Yeah, you're right. Let's call this CL, just so it doesn't complain about that. So that is going to give us, basically, it's right here, on this line of code, classifier will exist and it will be ready. That's what we can guarantee by writing the code this way. The other thing we need is a little async iffy that does all the codes that we have here. So basically all of this. So this thing does the business. So basically we're going to be loading the ML5 library and doing all the stuff we were doing before at the same time. But we don't want that to resolve until the image is actually loaded. So this will actually return a promise. Well, it already returns a promise. But we'll return a new promise here. Getting complicated, but this will, and now this classifier.classify code, all of that can happen after both of these things are done. Resolve goes there. And now we can do this. So, and we actually need to invoke this. No, this needs to be a semicolon, and then we need to invoke this. So what this will do is it'll load the ML5 library, and it will do all the stuff we were doing before. But this line of code will not run until both the image has loaded and the ML5 library has loaded. We did it. All right, let's see if this actually works. Here we go. Right here. We did it. Undefined. So actually, I think we are getting back that like weird cores error. Can't believe that technically worked first try. So the error we're getting is this operation is insecure. But what we need is to add this cross origin thing right here when we load the image. I am gonna put, I don't know if you can set attributes on an image thing, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna create element image. You can just set attribute? Okay. I'm gonna go back to this though. Cool. So create the image element, set the SRC, make it cross-origin anonymous so the ML5 library can actually load that image and classify it. And then here we go. Moment of truth. We did it. And ML5 thinks this is a shower curtain, an oscilloscope, or a screen. So that's great. Let's try again. We did it. It's a comic book, an electric guitar, or a jellyfish. So that's fun. A flaming shower oscilloscope man. Perfect. And we'll do it again. Let's see what we get. Ooh, that's cool. Who dat? So we get back a loudspeaker, perfume essence, or a computer mouse. Checks out. Yeah. Awesome. That's Jin. Look at Jin. He looks dope. All right, one more time for laughs, for the laughs. No, exactly, Doc. So what we're going to do, now, there's multiple steps here. Now that we have what the AI thinks it is, either a spotlight, a lighter, or a television. The AI thinks that this is one of those things. Well, now it's a spotlight. Yeah. Is it a spotlight? I mean, it's technically being spotlighted. It's like in a cave and the light's shining through. But think is you're right, Doc. So what we'll do is we'll take a random one of what it thinks it is, and then we're going to pass that random one into like a thesaurus API. So that way we can get back similar words, and then you, the user, will need to guess what did the AI actually think it was. Add all the words together with word to vector. So one last one before we write more code. This is a breastplate, aegis, a shower curtain, or a shield buckler. Or a shield or a buckler, not a shield buckler. What's up, Axis? Yeah, we could go with the highest score. Like, technically, breastplate and aegis or aegis has the highest confidence. I see what you're saying, Mark Boots. We basically just show all of these to the user, and they have to guess which one they think has the highest confidence from the AI. I don't know. So the AI we can read about it. It was trained on 15 million images. Yeah, but there's only certain labels that were given to those images, so it's not going to work for everything. And especially, like, in this case, we're using an illustration, which it probably hasn't seen before. Great job, Redani. So what we're getting back from the AI is just what it thinks has the strongest confidence. Sometimes it will return nothing, or it'll only return one or two. For whatever reason, these images, it likes to give us 3 different ones. Oscilloscope, maze, or shower curtain. All right, I'm just going to look and see if there is a nice, like, thesaurus API or, like, a similar word API. Because that'll make it a little more interesting than rather than just guessing which one has the highest probability or the highest class confidence. A function. Synonyms for function. That's not what I wanted. I don't want the definition of an API. Just in case it wasn't already impossible to guess. Yeah. Okay, so request URL. So thesaurus, word, and then you need an API key. Is it free? How do we get an API key? Frequently asked questions. How do I sign up for an API key? You must register for an account. Okay, how many API keys am I allowed? Is there a cost? We can't have more than 1,000 queries per day. We probably wouldn't overrun it, but you never know. Somebody in Twitch chat would probably just grab my API key and run it up. Okay, big, huge thesaurus. How many requests do we get here? 500. Standard array, kappa. Those images would make for cool shower curtains. You probably can get a League of Legends hero skin shower curtain. And if not, somebody should make that. I mean, I guess technically it's a, what do you call it? It's proprietary. This is owned by, who are they? What's their name? Riot Games. Riot Games owns this, so you probably couldn't put it on a shower curtain. Doesn't require an API. Thank you, Doc. Data Muse. Potato. What are some tater? Got me a tater. All right, let's pass in. Let's see what we get back and try some of these to see if it's doable. Okay, so for this, it thinks perfume. So if we were to choose perfume, what are some synonyms for perfume? Fragrance, scent, aroma, essence. All right, that's not bad. Not bad. Let's try again. What's the chance you get some splash art twice within 5 reloads? Oh, the same one twice? There are. I think it's low because there are so many champions and so many skins, but it is random, so you technically could. All right. Banister. What are some synonyms for banister? Handrail. Balustrade. Cool. The ML param can be a phrase, not just words. Are you sure about that? Yeah, so this API gives back multiple synonyms for the word that you pass in, and that's what we want. Oh, this one accepts multiple words? Oh, you're right. Shower curtain was a phrase. Shower curtain. Hey, that's pretty dope. I mean, is it just using the first? No, it's not. It is using both. Or like football helmet. Crash helmet. Fixer. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so we're on our way. The League of Legends API is returning multiple words? I don't know, but let's look at our progress so far. So, I mean, technically, we have absolutely done League of Legends. We got some AI going. It's running on our computer, so we can say that that hardware is happening. We're close. We're close. We're classifying the image. Now we need to choose. Yeah. So instead of displaying the entire image, we need to only show a zoomed in section to make it even harder. And we also need to pick one of the classified words. And a potato. You're right. The AI it's like a potato because it's not that great, but okay. We then pass one of those words to this API to get a synonym, and then we show some synonyms along with the real word. And if they guess the real word that the AI thought, they win. They win. Yeah. Okay. How do we display a zoomed in section of the image? We could do like so first of all, let's just get it working with a static image. So like let me copy this image URL. And we will try to just display it on the page with a randomly zoomed in section. So I'm not even going to load the JavaScript anymore. We're just literally going to have, and I think it could work with like an image clip where like we zoom the image and then we clip the parent element. So I have an image and the source is this. So now there's no JavaScript. It just loads the image. Yeah, and then if we do some sort of like random zoom, like is it transform scale? So scale it by 10 and then translate some random X value and some random Y value. And then let's call this an image container. And we'll say the image container has a overflow of hidden. So the wrapper has the image inside of it, and now we've scaled and translated the image, which will just be like a random section. And it's not. Oh, because we have width as 100%. Well, that should be fine. Transform origin. I'll add that. 0, 0. Use a background image with position and size. Codephobia says do it with canvas, which would make a new image. Thank you, Dropman. Yeah, I might get those images. Oh yeah, let's get rid of margin top. Let's just see what's happening here. Oh, my transform is bad. It's a bad transform. First of all, scale 10 should work. Yeah, so this is like the top left corner of the image. It's probably too much of a zoom. Let's go with a zoom in by 3. Yeah. And then how do you combine? Oh, you're right. Probably needs units. Translate 100 pixels, 100 pixels. Does there need to be a comma? negative, negative. Ah. Transform occurs right to left. So I should pass in negative values. Yeah, I mean, I could do translate x, negative 100 pixels, and then translate y. Translate, then scale. So translate, then scale. Okay, and we could do this with JavaScript so that these two values are random for the width and the height of the image. Percent. Yeah. This is kind of working, right? Wait, that didn't translate it at all. Okay, it did. Okay. I think this is fine. I think now we just need to do this with JavaScript, and it'll be a totally random section of the image that we add to the page. So I think we will. Oh, I turned off the JavaScript, so right now we're not getting any. Suggestions just yet. Okay, I'm actually just going to set this ID to be image, and then we'll just use that instead of creating a new one. So now in the JavaScript, when we add the image, we're just going to get that element by ID. Or, yeah, query selector for image. Set the source, set the attribute. We don't need to append it because it's already on the page. And we'll set the style. So image element dot style dot transform equals this. But this will be a random percent between 0 and 100. And this will be a random percent between 0 and 100. Right? Oh, bad selector. Thank you. This needs to be ID image. Cool. Like this. Let's say get random percent. Get random number, not get random value. We'll write a new function that just returns a value between 0 and 100. Is the visibility of the first image hidden? Oh, no. So we're, when we display it on the page, we're going to be displaying like a random section of it. Yeah, so the classification is going to be on the original image data, which I guess shouldn't care about the transform, right? Right? I don't know. Let's just see if it works. Translation of 100% would be out of sight. Maybe. Let's see. Get random number returns a random value between 0 and 100. So math.floor of math.random times 100. But for now, we'll just return 100 and see what happens. Let's see. It is not setting the translate. Maybe I did it wrong. Image element dot style dot transform. No semicolon. There we go. So when it's 100, 100, let's get the image link. So when it's 100, 100, I'm expecting that it's the bottom right corner. So it's this, right? And is it? No. It is... Wait, what part of the image is this? Oh, it's the mouth. This is 100, 100. It's his mouth. So 100, 100 is the center. Yeah, so is it, maybe it's because we're scaling afterwards? Because we're scaled by 3? So 300, 300 would be the bottom right corner. No, 200, 200. Okay, so this is 200, 200. And then we got a new image, though. That's it. So 200, 200 is the bottom right corner. Yeah. Yeah, so we want a random value between 0 and 200. Cool. So, here we go. But we should still be able to see what it's classified. It's going to be very hard. The thing is, you're going to have hints. I mean, it's going to be multiple choice. You don't have to type it in. It will be multiple choice, and so you'll have some chance of guessing it. Running shoe, American lobster, spiny lobster. I'm actually curious. Ah, that's a spiny lobster. The answer is lobster. Okay, another random one. Oh, would you look at that? Wait, did my computer just freeze? My computer's frozen. Let's go here for a second. The AI is too much. The AI is too much. It's frozen my computer. Oh no! ImageNet uses a lot of CPU. I think we ended up using Chrome for a while, which actually fixed things. Okay, it's back. It's back. That was a close one. And also, this is why you should have a separate streaming computer if you're a streamer. Yeah, there's the hardware part. Oh no, it's happening again. The fact that it froze my computer satisfies that one. Take a break, says iMonitor. First of all, I'm just gonna close that tab because I think that's what's killing us. Cool. And then yeah, we will use Chrome. Let me just launch Chrome really quick. We're gonna use that instead. Well, the last time I had Chrome open, I had a gigantic SVG, like a 10 megabyte SVG, and so Chrome is now frozen because it's trying to load that. All right, are we there? Is Chrome... Oh, buddy. No, Chrome is struggling. Why is Chrome struggling? And this is why you use Linux. You potentially have the same problems on Linux. An operating system is not going to fix your issues. Cool. Lies. All right. I guess it's technically working. Do I really want it? Oh, Chrome is being slow. Why is it being so slow? I just want to make sure that Chrome is okay to show on screen. Like I don't have any other stuff logged in. Okay, should be fine. Should be fine. All right, so we got this thing, and then if we look at the console, we can see that it thinks this is a jellyfish or an oscilloscope or a saxophone. But in reality, it was this. All right, next step. Pick a random word from the actual suggestions. That's our next step. I think we're doing good so far. So we are displaying a zoomed in section of the image. Darknet or DoodleNet for less resources. now we need to get a random suggestion. So if you remember when we did the GIF kebab stream, I wrote this in one try. But basically, we have an array of objects. Each object has a label, which is potentially a comma-separated list. What we want to do is we want to turn this into one array of all suggestions. So like separate these on commas, combine it all into one array. It's a nice little coding challenge, right? We gotta take these multiple labels, combine it into a single array of multiple labels. So here's how we'll do that. With the results itself is an array. So we'll use a reduce just because. Okay, so we have the this reduce is going to be reducing everything into a single array, right? And labels is that array. We'll call this all labels. And so a result is one of these objects that has a label property. And we need to split that on commas with a space. And so this will give us an array of labels for an individual result. And then we need to concat that onto the labels array. Like that. And just like that, my friends, we have solved the coding challenge of taking multiple objects that have properties with comma-separated strings and turning that into a single array of strings. Here we go. Oh, thank you, Ichiro. Comic book, breastplate, aegis, aegis, or mask. Very good. All right, let's try again. Shouldn't I pick the one with the highest confidence? No, we're just gonna pick a random one because it's all random to begin with. Stage, stove, spotlight, spot, and be dealer. Thank you for that 8-month resub. Very much appreciated. Does everyone believe that I did it right? Does anyone think I coded it wrong? Because we can confirm that my code is working. Not very good AI. It's trained on different kinds of images, that's all. Okay, so that one didn't have any comma separation. Shower curtain will always have the highest confidence. Now, okay, so this is one with comma separated. So we had comma separated like breastplate, aegis, aegis, those all show up. Bolo tie, bolo, bola tie, bola, umbrella. It's working. Okay, now we need a random one. And really, we only do this if we have, not Ebola, a bolo tie. Bolo tie? It's like what cowboys wear, right? Okay, so we have a random label. Will be our get random value function where we pass in all the labels. Great, and so now we have a random label. And now we'll take that I guess you can't see. You should be able to see it in a second. There might be duplicate terms. So aegis is what we got there. What is an aegis? I'm curious what will happen if we pass that into the Thesaurus API. Sax. It thinks there's a saxophone in here? I'm curious. What is it? We're using I mean, this clock handle looks like it could be a saxophone. But we're using ML5JS and MobileNet. Yeah, I mean, it's technically it's the clock handle. I don't know, but that's great. Fantastic. So now, the next step of this mess is we need to pass the randomly selected word into that API. And hello, Imelastra. How's it going? You were Zero Xeon? Cool. Check them out. They're a member of our Live Coders team. Thanks for dropping in. Doc, can you share that API with me again? Because I lost it. And I don't want to open recently closed tabs because I might open the page, which will freeze my computer again. I think that the game will be relative. I mean, I don't think it'll be that hard, right? Because you don't have to type in what you think it is. The smell of rain. Thanks, Doc. But I'm curious. How do you spell Aegis? Was it like that? Spices? Oh, an Aegis is a breastplate or an umbrella. Wait, what? I actually built the team detection live on stream. It's open source. It's probably usable by other people. You also could write your own if you wanted to, but it is on my GitHub. Let's find it. The Twitch team shoutout bot is here. I wrote it a year ago. Wow. But yeah, it does have some environment variables. It's written with Node. Come on. Stop. Okay, here you go. I mean, and if you do want to see how I built it, there's a YouTube video where I did it. And I will show you right now. Right here, right now. Team? Coding a Twitch team bot to detect live coder team members. Yeah, this is the one. Cool. All right, we're almost done, everyone. We're in the home stretch. We now need to make a request to this API with the random word, with the random label. So let's just write a function like display guess buttons with the random label. So that's going to be the answer. The answer is the random label. But then we'll have a function which gets other things to display as guesses. Display guess buttons with the random label. And then we need to make an API request. We could technically create another function. So we'll create an async function called get similar words with the given word. Yeah, we'll do that. So we're going to fetch this URL with the word like this. You are red, drop media. All right. I feel like you could just not show the image at all and the game would be just as difficult, probably. All right, so that's going to call the DataMuse API. We then need to parse the response. And then that response is an array. And so we could pick a few out of this array that are not the word that we passed in. I don't think it gives you back the word you passed in, right? And hello, one computer guy. I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Oh, I didn't use a hotkey. I just used my linter because my linter automatically changes string concatenation into a template literal. Yeah. I'll do it again. I'll show you. Because my linter is complaining. It's like, hey, you should use preferred template literals. And then if I do ESLint fix all auto fixable problems, it turns string concats into template literals. Okay. So we're going to log out the word we got, and we're also going to log out all of the random words. So we get similar words is equal to get similar words with the random label. But we need to await this. This is async. This would return the JSON. Okay, here we go. String templates aren't better. They're just usually a little bit more readable, which is why my template literal or my linter file prefers them. 100 similar words to the word fountain. Fount, outflow, spring, jet, outpouring. Cool. So that's awesome. Now we need to get like 10 of these. And you get to guess which one the AI suggested. Okay. Here's the thing. I think if you play this game enough times, you'll get an idea for the kinds of words that the AI suggests. And you can probably start winning that way. But regardless. So we need words to display is an array that starts off as empty. Oh, take the first in? I was going to get random ones. We'll take the first in. Are there always 100? I'm curious if there are always 100. Harder than the hardest game ever. Okay, load the image, display a random section, classify it, get similar words, log it. That's what just happened. Let's do it again. Yeah, there's always 100. Oh yeah, let's take the first 10. Easy enough. Yeah, so words to display is actually just similar words dot slice, or slice. So I want to start at 0, go to 10. And then we have our words to display. So we need to put the random label into this array in a random location. So I'm gonna get a random index, which is gonna be this nonsense here. I mean, I could put this. Let's make more functions. Get random index. Wait, don't we already have a get random number? But that one just returns between 0 and 100. Okay. I guess we're just gonna be... I don't know why I'm turning this into so many different functions, but here we can return... Oh no, I did it wrong. We could do this. More functions, yeah. Get random index with the array. And then this just returns that. Cool. And so now I can use this function down here where I need a random index. Yeah, so guaranteed to be random by fair dice roll. The number 4. Okay. Get a random index with the words to display. And then I'm going to put the random label into the array at that random index. Abusive functions. So here's the thing. If you've ever read Clean Code by Uncle Bob, I mean, he talks about how you should have small functions and functions should do one thing and they should do it well. But some people read that and they take it to the extreme, and then your code becomes really hard to follow because there are so many different functions. And that's kind of what we're getting to. We have too many functions, but it's okay. It's okay. I mean, I think this is a get array length. It just returns array.length. Uncle Bob is Bob Martin. He's a very well-known agile guy, an author and C# programmer. Yeah, it's regardless. Clean Code is a good book, and you can learn a lot from it. But there are people that take it to the extreme. Okay, now words to display dot splice, which is going to let us put a value into the array. So we want to splice at that index. We don't want to remove anything, but we do want to put that random label into the array. So if we log the we're almost there, everybody. We got the random label. We've got the that's spelled wrong. The list of all the words we're going to show to the user. And the random label should be in that list of words. That looks like SpongeBob. Okay, so check it out. Well, actually, we did this wrong. What? Oh, because they're objects. Yeah. We need to just map it and get the words. So map this, and then grab the word. Here we go. Max equals in. And that will get, we can do max equals 10. Okay, so the suggested, so the word that the AI detected this as a shower curtain. We then passed it into the API, and we have this array, which is bathroom, shower stall, linen closet, wash basin, tub, doorknob, bath towel, bathtub, shower curtain. So we inserted the random one into this list of synonyms, and then closet and shower. Great. Now let's add them to the page. So, list at index equals label. Well, not overwrite it, because I want there to be 11. Okay, so for each label, we're going to add a button to the page. Let's make a section for our buttons. The list goes to 11, exactly. Actually, we'll give this an ID of buttons. And we're going to create some buttons and append it there. Let's just create a variable for our buttons element. Document.query selector. The element that has the ID buttons. Yeah, this will be on GitHub. Exclamation mark improv. I think we'll give you the link to the GitHub where it will be. Well, you're right, Doc, because the way I've written it, technically the last value in the array, will never be the one the AI suggested. So there you go. There's your hint. Don't ever pick the last one, right? Is that right? Is that what will happen? Okay, but we need a button. So document.create the last element is always wrong. So there's your hint. So we're going to create a button. We're going to set the text content of that button to be the label itself, and then the buttons element, we're going to append that button to it. And now we should get a bunch of buttons on the page. Here we go. Yeah, it's documented. Don't pick the last one. There we go. So you get to guess which one of these did the AI detect this as. I'm going to go ahead and go with projection screen because that sounds like the AI. But now we need the logic where it checks to see if your guess is correct, displays a sound, etc. All right, screen door. Let's see what the actual image is. Yeah, so if shower curtain is an option, it's probably what it is. Oh, look, there is somewhat of a screen-looking door thing behind there. Okay, I'm going to increase the font size so the buttons are a little bigger. Let's add some styles. Button. Margin of 1 rem. And a font size of 3 rem. Here we go. Nice. Nice. That's a little too big. We'll make it a little smaller. But it is up to you to pick which one the AI detected it as. Awesome, yeah. I guess the other thing we could do is buttons could be a flexbox with justify content center, a line item center, and flex wrap of wrap. So that'll put all the buttons nice together in the center. When you see a shower curtain, click it. Yeah. Cool. I guess I'm gonna guess Aegis, because that's the one. For now, we should actually log out what the answer is. Okay, we're getting there. This is the last coding improv was long too. I don't know. Wait, what? Are you DF enter JC? What are you talking about? Okay, we need piano sounds. Someone earlier suggested piano sounds. Here we go. Drop Mania official. Should I turn my sound down? I think, yeah, okay. I'm going to turn my sound down just in case this is weird. No Rickrolls. Nice, that's a bad one. And then a good one. Nice! Okay, I like it. Thank you, Drop Mania. Cool. And I'll run it through the... Yeah, I actually just started using Synergy yesterday. I was using ShareMouse for the longest time, but I needed to use multiple monitors or multiple computers. And I actually used Synergy a long time ago, but yeah, I'm back to using Synergy. And if you don't know about Synergy, check it out. It lets you share your mouse and keyboard with multiple computers. across the network. Yeah, okay. Great. I'm going to download these sounds, Dropmania, because I don't know if your host is gonna I don't want people downloading this MP3 from your host and like running up your bill. Okay, here we go. We're going into Coding Improv, episode 6. We'll create a directory for sounds. We've got bad, and then we have a sound for good. Great. Here we are. Now, when the user, I was in a hot tub. When the user selects their answer, if it was right, we play the good sound. If it was wrong, we play the bad sound. So, let's have a function to run with the user's guess. User clicked guess with their guess, and then we'll do the thing. So we're going to call this function when any one of the buttons is clicked. So we'll say, for this button, we're going to add an event listener for when it was clicked. And when it was clicked, we are going to call this user clicked guess with the guess that they clicked on. Right? And I should pass in the answer, which is going to be the random label, and then the label itself. Why is this complaining? Random label is not defined? But it is. InstaFluff! Welcome, friend! Welcome, Fluffy Raiders! Yay! Thank you, InstaFluff. Very much appreciated. You have arrived at the middle of Coding Improv. Yeah, shout outs to InstaFluff, the original creator of the drop game. So we do have the drop game here on my stream, but InstaFluff made the original one. I just made my own that had a garden theme. But here's what we're doing. Yeah, so we got a ton of random suggestions from the chat. League of Legends, potato, hardware, AI, piano, stamp, connection, incapable, oats, or testing. We got a bunch of these suggestions, and now we're incorporating these into an app. And what we decided to build, thank you, InstaFluff, very much. Oh, yeah, and so if you just do drop, you get a seed, and if it lands, you'll grow. But you can also do !drop me, and that will drop your Twitch avatar. Or you can do !drop with an emote or an emoji. Yeah. No, it's not going to land. But here's the random app that we're building. When the page loads, we make a request to the League of Legends API. We get back a list of champions. We then make a secondary request to get information about the skins for a given champion. We then choose a random skin, and then we display a zoomed section of that skin on the page. So, for example, when the page loads, we're going to get a random skin, and we're going to see a zoomed in section of it. We passed the full image into an artificial intelligence image classifier, and it's giving us back, this is Jin, yeah. So it's giving us back what it thinks is in the image, which is completely random. And then we're taking we're taking one of the things that the AI thinks is in the image and passing that to a thesaurus API to give us similar words. Now, after all that happens, it's up to you to choose which one of these do you think the AI thought this image was. And if you get it right, we're going to play a sound. That's where we're at right now. But yeah, shout out to InstaFluff. If you have not heard of him, you definitely should check him out. Super chill stream. Yeah, and today was Mug Friday. Cool. Did you see InstaFluff that I had my my hot tub stream yesterday? So that's a thing. But all right, let's keep writing code. We have a function that gets called when the user clicks on one of the buttons. So we have the actual answer and we have the guess. So right now we're just going to log what the user guessed and what the answer was and what the user guessed. So that's where we're at. And then we need to determine, was it right? If it was right, play a sound. Okay, so here they come. I am going to guess, I didn't look. The answer was actually in the console, but I'm going to guess that the AI said Entertainment Center. Oh no, it was Fire Screen. What's a Fire Screen? Okay, but I got it wrong. So because I got it wrong, it should play a bad sound. So let's get those sounds loaded in. We're gonna have we're gonna have the wrong sound. It's gonna be an audio element where it's gonna load sounds/bad.mp3. What's a pernover? I don't know. That came back from the Thesaurus API. So we have the wrong sound, and then we have the correct sound. And then that's going to be good. And so we've loaded them in, and then when the user makes the guess right here, we'll say if answer is equal to guess, then wrong sound dot play. And we'll set the current time back to 0 and then play it. Otherwise, we play the bad sound. Oh, the correct sound. Actually, I did it backwards. I did it backwards. We'll fix it though. So if your answer does not equal the guess, play the wrong sound. Otherwise, play the correct sound, the good sound. Cool. Now at this point, we don't need to show the answer in the console anymore. And we probably should do some speech synthesis because that'll be fun. So let's look up how to do that. Speech synthesis. So if you get it right, the computer will tell you you are correct. Examples. So create an utterance and then speak it. Easy. How many tries? Oh, you get it in after you get one either right or wrong, a new one will be displayed. Yeah, Doc has it. At this point, we have 3 API requests. We have the initial request for all the champions. We have a request for an individual champion, and then we have an API request for the list of synonyms. Okay. Right here. I want to say the utterance is you are correct. I wonder if the speech synthesis uses the exclamation mark to like make an inflection. You are correct. Oh no, I did it wrong again. You are wrong. I mean, and technically, I don't want it to say you are wrong until the piano is done playing. We're just gonna sleep for half a second before we say you are wrong. And here comes another function. So we're going to create a sleep function that returns a promise, sleep, for any number of milliseconds. It returns a new promise that will resolve after that given number of milliseconds. Cool. So, I mean, technically we could wait for the song to be done or the sound to be done playing. I don't want to do that. And yeah, I did just create a new function. You're always wrong. You are correct. I'll say you are wrong. The answer was, and then we'll put what the answer was. Like that. And let's just wait a second after playing the sound. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Let me make sure the sound is coming through. Okay, I was about to say, did we get rate limited? Okay. Now, what do you think the AI thinks this was? Is it a spider's web? A trap? Ant, snare, ABT, cobweb, arachnoid, spin, gossamer, silk, or water spider? Arachnoid? What is an ABT? Shower, always shower curtain. Well, actually, we have a hint. We know that it's never going to be the last one because of the way we're inserting the things. Cobweb?
You are wrong. The answer was spider's web.
That was great. That was great. I don't know if that was loud enough for you to hear. It should do it again, though.
You are wrong. The answer was spider's web. You are correct. You are correct. You are correct. You are correct. You are correct.
Okay. That's great. That's fantastic. All right, now we need to keep track of the user's score, and some weird stuff is going to happen after a certain number of scores. You are wrong.
You are wrong. The answer was spider's web.
All right, so the user can guess. We have it so that if they chose correctly, we're playing a sound. If they chose incorrectly, great. Now we need to keep track of the number of times that they've guessed. Once you get 5 right, the whole page just is a stamp of approval. And once you get 5 wrong, Quaker Oats fall from the sky. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do, Doc. We have to write the code that will drop things from the sky. Yeah, so that's one thing we actually need right now is load a new one. So how are we going to do that? It should be easy enough because we do have, well, do we? We're creating our classifier here in the initialize function, and then this function right here is what needs to run again. So let's pull this out. Yeah, let's pull this out. So we'll say something like set or get champion, like that. That's what we got to do. So we put this in a function called get champion. It'll be async. It can do all of this stuff. All of this makes sense, I think. And Machine Gun 21K with the 5 gifted? What? What? Yeah, if you buy 10 functions, you get the 11th for just 1 penny. Thank you so much, Machine Gun 21K. Very much appreciated. And congrats to everybody that got a sub. Okay. Yeah, so this function seems good. We select the image, we set the transform, it'll be random again the next time, and then when the image has loaded, we resolve. And actually, we technically need to remove the event listener as well so that it doesn't load again. I mean, I don't think it matters if it loads again, but we'll just do this to be safe. So after it has loaded, remove the resolve. Wait, no, okay. Loaded. So loaded is, I gotta get my order of operations right here. Like what is happening? This is loaded. Loaded is a function that removes the loaded event listener and resolves the promise. And we pass loaded in here. Okay, that should do it. Oh yeah, that's a good one. The Time is we should, before we do the next one, we should zoom out and show the full image. Yeah, you're totally right. I think that's what we want there. So now, we could just get a new champion. But we will need to classify it and then do all that good stuff. We need some state is the thing. We need some global state where we can access in multiple places. So let's call this like the game state, and it's going to have multiple things. It needs the classifier so we can access it later. So classifier is initially null. We need the correct guesses, which starts off as 0, and the wrong guesses, which starts off as 0. I think that's it. That's all we need. So after you have guessed, so user clicked a guess, here is where we are going to I mean, technically we could reload, but then we wouldn't be able to keep track of the game state unless we put it in local storage. We're gonna keep it all here. So when you guess, it's either correct or wrong. After all of that, we need to reset the transform. I should be able to select this. Let's make this a global variable because we use it in multiple places. The image element. Hello, Kenny. Welcome to the show. So yeah, when they click a guess, we set the transform to just be scale 1. Like it's gonna change back to it'll show you the full original image. I think the other thing we can do is we can add a transition, so that way it like zooms out. Transition all 1 second, ease in out. So that way, whenever you guess, it'll like zoom out. Let's just see if that works. Okay, so here's the image. What do you all think it is? I think it's a microphone.
You are wrong. The answer was speaker.
It's so dramatic. It's so dramatic. Boom, and it like zooms out. Okay, that's great. Okay. This is Doc. I like it. Doc likes it. Okay, so we zoomed out, and then we should probably like hide the buttons so that they can't guess again. So we'll do like buttons element dot. Well, actually, we'll just remove them. Let's clear them out so they can't click any more buttons. And then we'll either increment or decrement the number of guesses. So if you guessed incorrectly, we'll do game state dot wrong guesses plus equals 1, and game state dot correct guesses gets incremented here. We zoom out, and then let's say after 1 second, it just refreshes. It does the whole thing again. Oh, then make a button for next. No, I think we'll just do it automatically after a second. This game is hard. So I'm going to sleep for 1 second, 2 seconds. 2.5 seconds. We're going to sleep for 2.5 seconds, and then we're going to do it all over again. So we're going to get a champion, which should reset the image on the page. This one. I'm going to move this function up just so it's defined before we call it. You are wrong. Get champ right about here, right there. So this will load a new image onto the page. And then when this resolves, we're ready to classify again. So we can take our classification code, which is this, and then we can run that here. So get the next champion, and then we'll do GameState.Classifier.Classify with that image again. It's going to do it all over again, and then we'll display new buttons. Okay. typical coder's sleep schedule. Sleep for 2.5 seconds. Yeah. Yeah, this should be fine. The only thing we need to do here is after we get the classifier down here, we did it. We need to set GameState.Classifier to the classifier so that way we can use it later on, like this. Yeah, and then we can display the current score, like right here. We also need like a title. What did we call this thing? LOL AI Guesser. Let's set a sans serif font. This. Yeah, so after 5 attempts, well, not 5 attempts, 5 correct or 5 incorrect, I think is what we decided. Champions Kebab. We'll put the score here. It starts off as 0. Actually, we need more of like correct guesses and incorrect guesses. Or wrong guesses. Yeah, so those both start off as 0. Let's just set score to have bold, to be bold, font weight of bold, like that. Vanilla.js can be messy. This is messy because I'm coding it in like less than 2 hours. You could make this clean. It would be very possible to clean this up. I'm just not going to. Okay, yeah, and these need different IDs. So this is the correct score, yeah, and the wrong score. But yeah, we could put the CSS in a separate file. We could use class selectors instead of ID selectors. There's a lot of things we could do, but I'm not going to because this code doesn't matter. We're never going to look at it again after today. The professional cleaner, yeah. So we have the correct score element. So we need to get the thing with the ID correct score. Great. And then we do the same thing with the wrong score element. Wrong. And then whenever they guess, we update it right here. So we'll say correct score element dot text content equals game state dot correct guesses. Yeah, that's it. And then the wrong score element is game state dot wrong guesses. We've got a game. The LOL AI guesser. We technically could show a loading image, right? Ship it. The image is too big. I'm going to set a max width on the image. Actually, we'll just do like a width of 500 pixels. No. 60 view width. And then the image container will center it. Display flex, justify content, center. Line items, center. Let's see what we get. That's huge. Why is that so big? Oh, because it's the original image and we've scaled it by 3. Doesn't matter. The AI has classified the full image. We're showing you a section of the image. What do you think the AI guessed? Is it cloak? Is it masquerade? Is it mask? Mask? Disassemble? Block out? Disguise? Disguises? Camouflage? Conceal? Or hides? I'm going to go with mask.
You are correct.
You are correct. All right. And I got one right. Yeah, so now we're keeping track of the score. Nailed it. And now we get to do it again. So what do we think? It's got to be shower curtain, right? If you see shower curtain, you should guess shower curtain.
You are correct.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Is this a data input device? Vibrate? Zapper? Mechanical device? Electrical device? Personal digital assistant? That makes sense. Computer mouse? Electric lamp, joystick, computer store, or mouse? We have to think like an AI, right? What would an AI think this was? I mean, data input device does kind of seem like it, but would it be the first? The AI is trying to trick us. Why is it the first one every time? I'm going to go with computer mouse.
You are correct.
All right. Next one. I'm 3-0. I'm doing really good here. Let's go. All right. What does the AI think this is? A speaker unit, loudspeaker system, watt, accent, amp, barbarian, beeper, or carry. I feel like the AI always says speaker system, doesn't it? Or does it say loudspeaker? You're right. I'll give you all a chance to answer. What do you think it is? They have no. Yeah, it's because the classifier hasn't seen these things before. You all think it's speaker, loudspeaker. I think it's speaker system. I need to get one wrong, though, because it's hilarious when I get one wrong. This makes GeoGuessr look like early access. All right, here we go.
You are wrong. The answer was speaker unit.
Speaker unit. FSET got it. All right. We've got 3 correct, 1 wrong. What do we think this is? I'll give you a chance to guess. So you're guessing what you think the AI classified this image as. A proton, not proton? What's that? Closet? Everyone's always guessing the first one. Could be wardrobe. Costume? I'm gonna go with wardrobe. Yeah. Just because I've seen the types of classifications of this AI before, I'm gonna go with wardrobe.
You are correct.
Okay. All right. We need to get one more correct and then nothing happens, but I don't know, this game is kind of fun, right? Oh, she's shower curtain. If you see shower curtain, pick shower curtain. Here we go.
You are correct.
Awesome. So at this point, we have 5 correct guesses. Now we need to do something. What do we do though? Yeah. So we loaded a new one. We need a stamp of approval. Yeah. The image is smaller than the container, so the overflow hidden doesn't trigger. Oh. Really? Because we have it as 100. You're right. You're right. We want the image to be 100% width, and the image container to have a width. Well, then the image container technically would need to be in. Okay. Check it. We'll have an image wrapper. So the image container itself is a flexbox, and then this div will have a set width, and then that div will be in the center, and the image will be 100% of that. So, wait, is image container the one with overflow hidden? Yeah. Let's call this the image inner container. Like this. And the image inner container has a overflow of hidden and a width of 60 view width. There we go. That's the one. All right. I'm going to guess one more time because this is fun. The AI thinks that this is a stagecoach.
You are wrong. The answer was stage.
Okay. My score was not bold because the CSS identifier is wrong. Oh, you're right. Yeah. This needs to be correct score. I missed that earlier. Thank you. And then wrong score. Well, we can style both of them here. Okay. We need a stamp of approval. Somebody shared one earlier. This one. Yeah, so we're just going to stamp this on the screen if you get 5 correct. So let's do that. Again, I'm just going to start off by putting it in the right place and making it look like it's stamped on the screen. And then we'll write code that will add it if you get 5 correct. So we'll have an image. The source is going to be that thing. We're going to give this a class of approved. And then the approved element will have a width of 100% and a position of fixed, top of 0, and a left of 0. Yeah, so it'll look like that. And it'll just say, you are approved. Yeah, with a stamp sound effect. It's like you have to take this test before going into some sort of classification, and the AI is like approving you. Yeah. Okay. It's gonna be great. But also a stamp sound. Let's check it out. I feel like we could find a better one. Stamp or a stomp? That's the one. This is the one. Oh no. Is it this one? It's this one. And then I don't want to sign up, so we're just gonna download the that's the sound. That's definitely the sound. There's no audio. I guess we could watch the network traffic. Disable the cache. Ching! Will this work? Is it an MP3 file? Is it a WAV file? Here we go. Oh no, those are PNGs. How do I just get the image or the audio sound? MP3? Oh, there it is. OG audio. Well, that's low quality though. Do we have HQ? Yeah, okay, cool. So there's our stamp sound. So that's great. Let's just hold on to this for now. And the other thing is we want the approved to, like, should it zoom? Should it fade in? What should it do? Fade in to 100%? Zoom. Yeah, I was just thinking, like, zoom, I think, makes sense. But, what was I gonna say? I don't know. I'm kind of getting fried here. We've been coding for a long time. Stamps normally just appear. You're right. Okay, so by default, we'll just create a class called hidden, and it'll have display of none, like this. So, this is initially hidden, and then we can remove that class, and it will appear. That's what we'll do. So, when you guess correctly, which will be about right here. So we'll say if correct score element dot if game state dot correct guesses is greater than or equal to 5, or game state dot wrong guesses is greater than or equal to 5, game's over. Do the thing. Otherwise, show another one. And I'm gonna increase the sleeps just so you can stare at the image a little bit more. But okay, so we'll say inside of here, if game state dot correct guesses is greater than or equal to 5, then that means you've won. And so we now need the stamp sound to play. Spaghetti, what's up, Canadian? We'll reset the current time. We'll play it. And then we need the approved element. What's up, Shirkum? I think it has class approved, doesn't it? We need to change the class list of the approved element. So we'll say approved element dot class list dot remove hidden. So make it show up. If you do exclamation mark set status space your status, you can put text that shows up on all of your messages. And hello, Westbox from Italy, welcome. Okay, at this point we need to say congratulations, you have passed. You have been approved. Great. And then otherwise, if that's not the case, then that means you have a bunch of wrong guesses. And I did say I was going to make Quaker Oats fall from the sky, but I want to wrap this up. So just like we stamped approved on the page, we're going to stamp Quaker Oats onto the page. So we're going to play the stamp sound. We're going to say the Quaker Oats element. A single giant oat. Well, I'm going to add a tub of Quaker Oats. So the Quaker Oats element, which doesn't exist. And then we'll say, you have failed. What else should we say? I am disappointed in you. How do you spell disappointed? Disappointed? The one you have dishonored your family? Why is this complaining? Oh, there's 2 P's. 2 P's, 1 S. Great. You have failed. I am disappointed in you. Get oat. I like it, El Brisa. That makes sense. Okay. So now we do need a Quaker Oats element. So they've been oated. Get oated. Get oated, son. Disappointed. That makes sense, the Time. Dis is a what do you call that? A word in front of a word? A prefix. It is a prefix to the word appointed. We are disappointed. It's a prefix, yeah. Okay, so just like we have this one, we want the oated one, and we need to find some Quaker Oats. Nice. Does DuckDuckGo let me do transparent? It doesn't. But I need a sideways Quaker Oats. Disappointed. Lime flavored oats? Wait, or lime oats, are you the one? No, did you suggest oats? You did. You did. Yeah, let's get some lime oats. I guess that's not a thing. All right, I'm going to jump out to Google just because I know that they let me search by images that have transparency, which is what we need. All right. Color. Transparent. It's most certainly not a thing. All right. This one? Is this the one? This is the one. Does it do by type? All right, we'll go back to DuckDuckGo. We'll give it another chance. Ah, it's not under color. It's under type. Thank you, Drake. Much appreciated. Nice. And Murdoch, thank you for that Prime sub. Wait, no, you've upgraded. You've upgraded. Twice in a row. How did that happen? Thank you, Murdoch. I appreciate the support. Okay. We're going to go with the old-fashioned ones. Old-fashioned oats. Let's view this file. Great. Now, instead of this, it will be this. And by default, we're going to show it on the page. And oated is going to be the same styles as that. So by default, there should just be a big old Quaker Oats on the page. We're actually gonna set Quaker Oats to have a height of 100% instead of a width. Perfect. Doc says this is it's ridiculous, is what it is. Like, this app has zero purpose. It's it's kind of insane. But we do need to turn it into a oh geez, that happened. Width is auto. Some squished oats. There we go. Also, I want to rotate this. Transform. Get oated. Rotate 35 degrees. Nice. It would actually be hilarious if it like tilted in from 0 degrees to 35 degrees. Wait, no, this is fine. This is fine. The positioning is perfect. He's peeking in. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Yeah, I don't want to overcomplicate it. And by default, this is hidden. I feel like he's judging me. Okay, and then I think we already have the code that does it. So if you've gotten, where's it at? Here, if you've gotten 5 wrong, we're going to show it, and we're going to say, you have failed. I am disappointed in you. Get oat. Yeah, I wrote OT in the HTML. Oh, you're right. Oated. Wait. Thank you. I accidentally removed it. Okay, I think we're done. I think this is the game, right? Oh no. We saw it zoom in. It zoomed in to a very inappropriate place. That's actually hilarious. Okay. Refactor the speech synthesis? We could, but also let me just look at the checklist, and then we're going to play this game one last time. So we've done everything we set out to do, but have we incorporated all of the suggestions? We have a piano. There's a stamp. Technically, we're making a connection to the API, and we're making a connection to the AI. So we'll say that's there. Incapable, because we are incapable of winning the game. We got our oats. We've been testing this whole time. All right, this is the final result of the thing we've built today. Potato, add a filter blur 2 to the entire page. Nah. Okay, so here's what happens. When the page loads, we make a request to the League of Legends API. We get a random champion. We then make a second request to get the champion skins, and then we display a small zoomed in section of that image on the page. We then pass the full image into an image classifier, an artificial intelligence image classifier. So we get back what we think the AI thinks this image is. Now, we are presented with some options. One of these options is an actual classification from the AI. The rest of them are not. And we need to pick the one that the AI actually classified it as. If we get it right, our correct score goes up. If we get it wrong, our correct score goes down. This is what we build. 10 out of 10, best coding improv. Okay, so what do we think the AI thinks this is? I'm gonna go with a doorbell.
You are wrong. The answer was chime.
Chime? Okay. And then we do it again. Okay. Oh, I know. This has to be. We've seen this before. We've seen this before. Perfume, right?
You are correct.
Right. So we've got 1 right, 1 wrong. When you get either 5 right or 5 wrong, something special happens. So let's see which one we get to. All right. You all can take a guess here. I think the AI said Tyrannosaurus Rex just because that one is like a little bit more specific. Yeah, I think it's Tyrannosaurus Rex. It could be Triceratops. It literally could be any of these. I don't know. Oh! No, not Horde. Because we know how it could just be dinosaur. That's probably the better guess is dinosaur because the thesaurus gives us back a bunch of different dinosaurs. I'm gonna go with dinosaur.
You are wrong. The answer was Triceratops.
Well, okay. All right, we've got 2 wrong. Let's keep going. No worries, Doc. I mean, it's a good line of thinking. That's what I thought. Anyways, okay. What did the AI classify this as? You all can take your guesses. I'm going to go with speaker system. Isn't speakers, or is it loudspeaker system? One of these two, or speaker unit. One of these is something that the AI thinks all the time. Speaker unit, 100%? All right.
You are wrong. The answer was speaker.
Okay, we got it wrong. Okay. We can make a comeback, though, because we could get more right. The game doesn't end until we get 5 wrong or 5 right. What does the AI think this was? The 9 wrong options are coming from a thesaurus API. So we take back the classification, one of the classifications we got from the API. We send it to a thesaurus API, which gives us back similar words. So it's kind of useful. Tutu, top hat, wig, sequined, spangles. I'm going to go with feather boa.
You are correct.
Nice. All right. We have no idea. We're zoomed into some section of the image. We have no idea what this is. It's probably mask. We've seen mask before from the AI, right? What do you all think this is? So you need to guess, what do you think the AI classified this as? It could, I think, either camouflage or mask.
You are correct.
Nice. All right. We're 3 for 3. We're 3 for 3. Here we go. What do we think the AI classified this as? What is an anium haworthy? I don't know what that is. A pine cone? A snowflake? An ornament? A pinwheel? A windsock? Anium haworthy? 100%? I don't know what that is. I'm gonna go with snowflake. Yeah. Here we go.
You are wrong. The answer was pinwheel.
The answer was pinwheel, obviously. Okay. If we get one more wrong, we get oded. We don't want to get oded. Let's try to get it right. Oh, we know. We don't know. Yeah. If we ever see shower curtain, you know. If you see shower curtain, you know that it is shower curtain. Pick shower curtain.
You are correct.
The AI sees a lot of shower curtains in League of Legends. All right. This is our last chance. We're either gonna win it or lose it. We're 4 for 4, 4 right, 4 wrong. And what do we think this? Wait, no, we got it again. Is it shower curtain again? Do we auto win?
You are correct. Congratulations. You have been approved.
Nice. All right. Great work, everyone. We've done it. This was a long one. This was like a over 2-hour coding improv. But yeah, good game. Yeah, so now we'll test it one more time, but we'll test it where we get all 5 wrong. And I know how to do that, I think. At least it was suggested earlier that my logic is never changing the last one, so the last one is always wrong.
You are wrong. The answer was shower curtain.
The answer was shower curtain.
You are wrong. The answer was saxophone.
Saxophone.
You are wrong. The answer was mask.
Okay. The answer is always shower curtain or speaker unit.
You are wrong. The answer was loudspeaker.
Oh, okay. All right, last one, and then we should get oded. I'm nervous. Are you all ready to get oded?
You are wrong. The answer was stage. You have failed. I am disappointed in you. Get OAT.
Get OAT. Okay. Why didn't it pronounce that right? Oh, because I all capsed it. Get oded. Oted? Get OAT. Get OAT. All right, let's do it one more time. Wrong. Just to see. We need a loading image.
You are wrong. The answer was wardrobe. You are wrong. The answer was theater curtain.
Theater curtain. It sees a lot of curtains.
You are wrong. The answer was mask. You are wrong. The answer was whirligig.
Whirly what?
You are wrong. The answer was press. You have failed. I am disappointed in you. Get outed.
Great work, everyone. Okay, this is the app. I'm done. I'm gonna commit it. We've been coding for way too long, but this was Coding Improv. I appreciate you all. Get out or get out or I get like get out, like get out. Yes, get out. Yeah, there we go. This is an app. Okay, I'll push the code up, but I mentioned it earlier. Typically, when we build these things, we never touch them again. The purpose is to just build something, kind of just throw it away. I will say though, we did a lot, right? Like for those of you that are newer to coding or like learning about this web dev stuff, we made dependent API requests, right? We made a request here, and then we used data from that response to make a request here. Yeah, you're welcome, Chio Codes. Thanks for being here. Oh yeah, in Canadian, get out, eh? Yeah, so we made dependent API requests. We used the web audio API. We talked about async await versus promises. We created our own promises with like this stuff down here. We did a lot. Where's the potato? The classification of the images is considered a potato because it's not that great. All right, yeah, I'm gonna push it up. Add episode 6. Oh yeah, and I will deploy it as well, so you all can try. You can try it in your browser. Yeah, should be easy enough. This is the League of Legends AI guesser. Quality. Quality content.
You are wrong. The answer was stage.
Breastbone.
You are wrong.
It was Aegis.
The answer was Aegis.
Yeah. It's always Aegis. If you see Aegis, if you see shower curtain, that's what it is. It's a saxophone. It's got to be, right?
You are wrong. The answer was electric guitar.
Awesome. So if you want to play this game, or if you want to test people, your friends, your family, to see if they can, if they're an AI or not, send them to that URL. All right, we're done. We're going to raid somebody, so stick around for the raid. The raid messages will show up momentarily. They're here, though. Yeah, there they are. Streamlabs is a little slow today. But if you're a sub, that's your raid message. If you're not a sub, this is your raid message. I appreciate you all. Thank you for all the supports today. If at any time I missed a support, I apologize. I appreciate you. And anybody that subbed or gifted or gave bits, we will. You will. You're going to see your name on the credits, so watch out for that. Oh yeah. So I totally forgot about that. But depending on what your local language setting is and what browser you use, the artificial, like the speech synthesis voice that you hear might be different, which is also probably adds to the hilarity. But regardless, yeah, stick around. You'll see your name in the credits. Thank you again, InstaFluff, for that raid. That was awesome. Did we get raided by anybody else? All. Raids only. No, just InstaFluff. Thank you, InstaFluff. I appreciate you. And like I said, I don't know where we're gonna go. You don't know what a raid is. So a raid is when we take all the viewers of one stream and we send them over to another stream. And typically there's a raid message. In our example, we have our raid message. You also can just say whatever you want. You don't have to use that. But it's fun because we share the love. You can follow that streamer, whoever it may be, wherever we go. But here I am in a hot tub. I appreciate you all. Thanks for hanging out today. The next stream is planned for next Friday, but I might stream Monday.